What's up, YouTube? It's Brendan from Market Makers. Guys, yesterday I was traveling, did not get a chance to make a video, but how did you enjoy the 12.35% pump from trough to peak? Been predicting that for a few days based on that volatility compression pattern and based where we were in Wyckoff. So I know everybody was getting sick of those other YouTubers minus 30K thumbnails. So it was nice to see Bitcoin get some relief, but we need to focus in this video on where our resistances are and the harmonic patterns that are stepping in, okay, that can provide a lot of resistance and potentially retracement. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So here we are in the weekly time frame for Bitcoin, guys. And again, we can track this a couple different ways. As you guys know, we've already done our downside projections for support. Not an immediate concern since we are in a nice little pump. Held this 618 beautifully, so we can go ahead and get rid of that. Let's look at some upside. A couple ways you can do that. We can go off of the larger impulse wave here from our market low to our all-time high down to the swing low, but this doesn't give us a lot of information, as you can see. Basically saying that 382 is up at 48K. Not that useful. We don't know what's above us just here. And this is a larger time frame, so we're going to go into the smaller time frames, but let's go ahead to our selling climax candle, right? That big, nice shadow on this candle here. Selling climax candle to our high in trend and down to our swing low. And as you can see, we defeated that 39,604. And currently, this is a weekly time frame, so we wouldn't know until Sunday, but we may get a close above the 618. Let's go ahead and look at this in the daily. So in the daily, a couple different patterns. I've talked about the falling wedge pattern. Could be a potential breakout here above the falling wedge pattern. On top of that, we did have a harmonic appear, which is a white swan, which again, based on our fib projections, I put it up here at the 618, 47,232, an area of key retracement. But I'm going to zoom in down to the 4-hour time frame. But guys, do you remember when we talked about the fib time, right? We talked about the fib time. We talked about the Gann market cycle, and we talked about February 4th. Today is February 4th, and we got a nice 12% move on our pivot time for the fib time and for the Gann market cycle. February 4th, key date, boom, 12% move. So the next key date is February 8th, the same with Gann actually for tracking a high to a low. So let's see what happens on February 8th. Be very interesting to see if that plays out. But let's go to the 4-hour time frame where I like to do most of my trading. Just looking at the 4-hour time frame, as you guys know, here's our projections that we had here for support. We held very well here at the 618. We slipped a little bit, came back up. Some nice down thrust action, came back up, popped up really, really hard, really beautiful, really clean. But let's look and see what we can find here as far as patterns. And I already see, yet again, you're going to find sometimes different patterns based on the time frame, based on the candle structure. And I already see a white swan right here. And this can come up to the 238 right here. Oh, I had it right on the dot there. 238 all the way up to the 886, right? So if you like these types of fib patterns, guys, you can learn to draw these and trade these in our room. And the link is in the link for the Discord is in the video description. But let's look at some TA here, get some ideas of where we're going. Let's check out our trend channel. Trying to hold the median line in our trend here, which is good. Let's check out, Ichi, 4-hour time frame Ichi. Let me get rid of this fib here. So exactly where I told you I would expect us to break through. Remember the previous video, day before yesterday? Said you want to attack the weak part of Ichi. It's not a coincidence. This is exactly where we broke through, okay? This whole price movement flow here was nothing but accumulation. This is accumulation. This is people selling, supply getting absorbed, price rolling down, price coming back up, supply getting absorbed, price rolling back down. This is all part of the Wyckoff process, okay? And then we had our breakout, and we need to figure out how high can this breakout go. So we got above Ichi. We got it. This cloud will now turn to a green support cloud. Obviously, you want it thick like this. Doesn't look like for right now it'd be that thick until we get more price movement. If we did get more price movement higher up. But let's go ahead and turn Ichi off. Let's look at our caterpillar. Should have had a nice little explosion. Look at that expansion in the caterpillar. We got our bottleneck we've been talking about for a couple days. There's our bottleneck. Got the nice explosion here on the peripherals. As you can see, that's going to expand. And again, if price does start consolidating, it'll start expanding or contracting in an upward direction. As you can see, denoted here by that median line pointing up, right? It's chasing after price. That is the median line. So let's see what else we have of any interest in here. Let's check out some volatility measurements here. Whenever you have an explosion in volatility, it takes time to for contraction to occur, because volatility, remember, is a separation of candles. So you want the candles in consolidation or accumulation to be really tightly close together. You get a flat line and then you get an explosion. Because we just had this explosion, I would anticipate there's going to be, as you can see, everything's green beneath us and green underneath the candle structure, meaning we're in a good range for volatility, but we need all of that to settle down. You can see that in your ATR. Again, we had that nice spike up, right, from our ATR. Nice big bullish candles, like I told you we needed. Volume, momentum, price angle, everything was green lit, like I said 2 days ago, for a pump. I know a lot of people are expecting this to dump more, but it was in a bullish pattern. So let's check out our ALMA for trend, our no moving average, obviously green. Everything's going to be pretty green at the moment. So let's look at some areas where we're concerned with. Let me see if I have this on another 4-hour chart. Yeah, so here's our fibs that we've been laying out in this video series, okay? Let's look at what we accomplished and then what's on top of us. Because as you can see, we got up above the 618. Again, the most commonly retraced two fibs, 61.8% of the previous move that you measured from. So this was very bullish to flip this fib. You want to keep this flipped and you want to use it for support. Now, where are we going to find that resistance at? That's the million-dollar question. Let's layer some fibs, guys. Let's just go ahead and start with the 55. I'm sorry, let's layer some EMAs. See where the 55's at. 55, well above it. Let's check our 89, well above it. Let's check our 144. That second part of the pump there got us above the 144. You see that? Let's check, what else do I have here? Oh, the 233, the Mac Daddy. This is what we need to see. And boom, there you go. Let's find confluence for that point, okay? Confluence is very key when you are doing trades and trade setups. Throw on my Gann square of 9. 41.1 almost lines up perfectly with the 233. So this area right here is a key area to pay attention to if we can flip this area. If we don't flip this area, you can expect retracement, partly because, as I said, we do have those harmonic patterns in this neighborhood of the price. So let me go ahead and get rid of this. I'll show you that again really quickly. And let's get rid of that one. Shrink this up a little bit. Hope everybody's having a fantastic weekend so far. Let's do this. X to A to B. Think this candle's lower. Maybe that one. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Let's use that one. And right here at the 786 for a Gartley. So right almost perfectly lined up with Gann square of 9, lined up with the 233. It almost lines up perfectly with 233. If price does wick up there, there's just a lot of resistance, right? And price is already sensing that. That's why it's consolidating right here. Probably got some supply dump. You can see the wicks on the candles, the shadows on the candles. So there's some selling that was occurring on this candle. So this is where price is choosing to consolidate right now. Being on the 4-hour time frame, everything's going to be slightly delayed, obviously, because it takes more time to accrue candles. So you have to watch this on a smaller time frame, like the 1 hour. But this is the next key hurdle, 41.1. If you don't get price bullish to move up and not retrace, I expect it, by the way, to at least attempt to break the 233. Okay, that's my expectations. I try to show you guys the upside, the downside based on the market structure, and then I try to tell you my opinion and expectations. I told you the market is like a rubber band. When you fall, you're pulling that rubber band. When you fall from those moving averages, and you want to snap it and come back and test them, which is what price did. So it came back, defeated all of them except the 233. This is a measurement of price over time, 233 trading days, okay? So this is a key measurement and a key time frame, the 4-hour. We got to flip that. Let's turn this off so I can get some price targets here. If we do not flip that, if we test it, which I expect us to come up and actually try to test it with candles, might get some candles above it and see price fall down, might just touch it, or we could just start rolling over if there's just not enough euphoria in the market. But let's get some measurements here for some price targets. Let's grab point A here, go up to D. Sorry, I know the screen's a little bit noisy. And 382 is at 38. That would be where I would expect us to retrace to if we do test this and fail. So your initial stop. Then the 0.5 is at 37 and the 618 is at 36. Okay, so now you're getting into that mid 30s region. And of course, after the 618, the one fib is at 32.9. Okay, so and that would be dropping us back down to the bottom of the range. That is if there is heavy retracement. Remember, whenever you flip this, since we flipped the 618, the bias is to move on and test that one fib. It's only a bias. It is not a guarantee. But because we flipped this, if we can flip the 233, all of the key moving averages are below us in the 4-hour time frame. So the one fib at 43,727 is our target. And this fib has been tracking beautifully for support and resistance structure. As you guys know, this first pump actually stopped right where I said it would at 39,604. The real body was resting right on the fib. These fibs were laid out perfectly for this current price action, so I'm keeping them intact and in place. But I want to see this accelerate, test this, and break it. And if it doesn't, I can show you what it could potentially look like. So let's go back. Get rid of our fib time here. Let's scroll back, guys. This happened when I first came to the marketplace, okay? Oh, let's get rid of some of this. When I first came to the marketplace, we started our room in June. And I missed the big dump. Let me get rid of these lines. I missed the big dump, but this is exactly where we ended up, okay? We start the room. So here we go. Here's our 233. This is on the daily time frame, okay? Look at the 233. We wanted to come up and test it, and this was our top. I personally made a lot of money trading in this time frame in June and July because of how clearly the market was reacting to the EMAs, okay? 233 market top, 233 market top. This second one is key because at that time, everybody was making thumbnails about Bitcoin 50K. Bitcoin, once it gets past 50K, it's going to 59K, it's going to 65K. But, looking at the price structure, looking at the candle reactions here, the big supply wick, right? Like a supply got dumped on that candle. So looking at this, we actually shorted this in the room, okay? This is one of the trades that I posted. We shorted this in the room. This is a 12,000 point dump, okay? 12,000 point dump. I'm showing this to you here because we're at this stage on the 4-hour time frame. Now for the 233 on the daily time frame, I think it's up higher at 45-ish, I want to say. Yeah, 40, almost 46K. And keep in mind this is descending, so it's 46,450. This will descend as price stays down here lower. So the daily needs to be flipped as well, but the daily has much more resistances above us. Actually, we can go ahead and look at those really quick. Let's see where the 89 is. Okay, everything's going to be higher up. So the 144 is up there. Yeah, everything's higher up. So the daily is not a concern at the moment till we get to the more of the mid 40s. But for right now, that 4-hour time frame, this is absolutely crucial. Flip this 233 because you don't want to just hit it, okay? You don't want to just hit it like this and then start falling down. And if you do fall down, because it's expected, price moves in waves, it's going to retrace just like this pump. It'll find resistance and it goes to support. You want to keep the structure of higher lows, keeping new support structure. So if you do come up here, get some candles, be nice to see price come down, maybe even back test this 618, okay, and then start coming back up again. This is all normal price action. It doesn't mean Bitcoin's falling apart, and it doesn't mean it's going to the moon. But what it's doing right now, it's not actually at the 233 yet. It could be at this pattern. This pattern could have activated early, but until I see some price dissension based off of this, what it's doing right now is 100% normal. It is consolidating, and it's doing that again because all of your volatility measurements are all blown out. They're all elevated, okay? So volatility wants to come back down. It wants to be at rest, at a state of peace, and then you get control of the market. Buyers or sellers come into the market and they give you a price movement. Normally, most markets, the stock markets move sideways 70 to 80% of the time. Crypto, Bitcoin particularly, highly volatile, most volatile asset in the world. So you get a lot more volatility, which is why it's so much fun to trade. Guys, I hope you enjoy this video series. Go ahead and smash the like button for me. Check out the link in our video description to our Discord if you want to come trade with us, learn from our educational materials, and check out BITGET if you want to try out a new platform this year. It's a fantastic liquid exchange. They don't murder you on stop losses. Top 5 exchange by volume. Excellent place to trade. That link is in the video description as well. Guys, have a fantastic Friday night. Another video coming Saturday. Take care, everybody.